Plaintiffs Tamara Carter and her husband David say the defendant is their son, and he was an excellent student and athlete in high school. But instead of going to college, he became addicted to heroin, and his life spiraled out of control. They're suing their son for stolen money, overdraft fees, and emotional distress. Defendant Adam Carter says he has lost everything due to his heroin addiction, including his home and his family. Adam claims his brother refuses to talk to him, and he was kicked out of his parents' house. And Adam is desperate to get help and get his life back on track.
Start with you all.
Judge, I want to save my son. I'm so scared I'm going to find him dead. I need your help.
Why?
Because he's doing heroin.
Heroin?
Heroin.
How long has he been doing heroin?
I don't know.
Well, I can interject, Your Honor. I believe it started back, let me give you a little background. Adam was always a really good student, a really good athlete. Through high school, he was on varsity baseball, varsity football. He had some colleges looking at him for some scholarships. And then he got mixed up with the wrong crowd, got involved in OxyContin, met a girl, they started experimenting with heroin.
What suburb was this?
This was in Henderson, Nevada.
Okay.
And
upscale community?
Yeah, higher end.
And that's where most of the heroin use is occurring now.
Yeah.
In the schools.
It is.
And people misunderstand where the hardcore drugs are being used, and most of it is being used by young kids in the suburbs, in high school, drug addicts.
Yeah, it's pretty
heroin addicts, the worst type of drug. Go ahead.
He kind of got away from baseball and sports and got involved with the girl, and they started seeing each other more and more and more. And
she was on heroin, you think?
I believe so, yeah. I think they kind of experimented together. I don't know.
Like 16 or so?
No, he was probably 17 at that time. And then after he graduated high school, we thought, well, maybe the Job Corps is a good place. You know, maybe he could go there, learn a trade.
By that time, you knew?
Yeah, we knew he had some problems. And
heroin addiction, did you know that?
Yes, Your Honor.
What made you suspicious?
Well, his mom actually walked in on him one time.
Using it?
Yes.
You didn't see any other signs?
Yes.
Like what?
Falling asleep, like, you know.
Nodding.
And,
Okay. All right. How often would you see that?
all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
When he came home from school or what have you?
No.
When?
When he was in his room.
When he was in his room. Catch him nodding out a lot.
Judge, I have seen you save people, and I'm begging you from my heart to save my son.
First, he has to tell me he wants to be saved. You can't save anybody who doesn't want to be saved. You gotta wait until they hit rock bottom, and then they determine if they want to be saved. Young man, how old are you?
26 years old,
Yeah,
sir.
they definitely can't save anybody that's 26 unless they want to be saved. Go ahead, sir.
So, like they said, I was an athlete throughout high school. And actually, they kind of got a little twisted. I actually started selling OxyContin first. And that's how I got addicted to it.
Right, using your own product.
Yeah, using my own product, and then it got too expensive. So then that's when I went to heroin. But it was around the same time frame as they were talking about.
Heroin is less expensive than OxyContin on the street.
On the street, way less.
Kidding.
Way less. And you get way higher. But
wow.
That's besides the point.
I mean, why would you say that?
So I was an athlete. I had like 7 scholarships, and me and my ex-girlfriend, she didn't want me to leave the state. She didn't want me to leave to go play baseball. And of course, I thought she was the love of my life, so I chose her over baseball. And since then, it just started spiraling downhill. Like, I've lost everything. I've lost family members. I've lost my little brothers. My little brother 2 days ago told me he resents me. He never wants to talk to me again. And he is my little brother who used to look up to me. Just everything. I moved to Reno. I moved to California to get clean twice. Came back.
Rehab or just to
No,
get out
just,
of the
just
environment?
to get out of the environment.
And what happened there?
I was working 2 jobs in California and going to school. Couldn't afford it. Came back to Vegas, relapsed again.
So did you use while you were there?
No.
So it helped for you to get out of the environment
Yeah.
and become productive?
Yes, sir.
As long as you tied up your time, you're working, you're going,
Yes,
you're doing
sir.
whatever, you're working 2 jobs, you're away from your other buddies or friends who were engaged in it, you had an opportunity, but it's when you went back into the same environment.
Yes, sir.
Like they say, a lot of times drug abuse is environmental.
It started progressing and progressing and progressing, and that was about 4 years ago. And now, about 2.5 months ago, I basically got kicked out of my house from them, and I basically feel like I've lost my whole family. Nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody wants to even help me. Nobody wants to do anything. Like, I feel like I just lost them. Like, I feel like
no one wants to help you. Do you want to help yourself?
Yeah, I need help. I've been asking for help. I just don't have the money. I want to go to an inpatient for as long as I can. I don't have any problem. I need help. I need to start my life back together. I was a straight A student. I don't want to be doing that. But the only reason why I use is to not get sick.
Right.
That's the only time.
When you're referring to sick, you mean withdrawal.
Yeah,
People
dope
need
sick.
to know that.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry, dope sick.
All right, let's get to the stolen money you're suing about.
Today we're here for checks that were taken.
When?
Starting back in July through the end of August. We were out of town.
Of what year?
2013. We went out of town. Me, my wife, my twins. Adam stayed home to feed the dogs. Found some checkbooks. I didn't find this out until, a week or 2 after we got home, but I noticed that there were a couple checks that were written, then a couple more, and before it was over, there were 10 total checks written.
Totaling how much?
Totaling $1,265 in checks. There was $266 in overdraft bank fees, and we went through blank and back. I mean, with all the running around, closing bank accounts, trying to figure out how we're going to put food on the table, how we're going to keep the utilities on, how we're going to do this, that.
Did you know he was heavily into heroin?
Yeah, at that time I knew. And
do you know the nature of a heroin addiction?
Yeah, I understand
that
it.
People will steal, sell items. Why did you leave him at your house knowing that he had a heroin addiction? You thought he was just going to decide that, I don't think I'll rip my parents off for heroin this time. I think I'll give him a break and I'll just sit here and go through withdrawal.
Well, no, the checks were hidden.
Sir, my point, he could have stolen anything else. He was going to steal something. Didn't you understand that?
No, I understand that, Your Honor, but I think pretty much everything of value.
So what are you saying? You went through so much. He had been ripping you off in the past, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because part of your lawsuit is for emotional distress.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you set yourself up for emotional distress because you knew he was going to rip you off.
Well, I didn't think he was going to steal checks and
whatever, sir. You knew he was going to rip you off. And I'm not going to let you all just act as if you could not have done something to mitigate it. In this case, you could have done something to protect yourself. See, the #1 job when you have a drug addict who is intent on remaining on drugs and intent on victimizing everybody they can to satisfy their drug habit, your #1 responsibility is to protect yourself. And then you try and get them help. And many times they're going to tell you they're ready, and that's part of the con, so that you can open up your doors and they can rip you off some more. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I did that about 30 times.
Right.
30 times he's done it to you. 30 times you all set yourself
We did
up.
have the police called on.
I'm not going to grant you emotional distress, sir.
Several occasions.
Sir, let me hear from you. Did you do it? Obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on now.
I remember 2 of them, but I obviously must have done them. I was taking a lot of Xanax, so.
All right, let me just tell you this, sir. When you get in rehab, the first thing you're going to do, they're going to teach you that, 1, you must be honest. Then you must try and repair the damage you've done to others. Then you must go through the process that they teach you to avoid relapsing, all right? So we're going to wish you good luck in that endeavor, and I'm going to grant you all everything except for this emotional distress you're suing for. Yes, ma'am.
I want mental distress. I have been in the hospital because of this.
Ma'am, as I said, I'm not going to grant you emotional distress. Your son has told me you all gave him 30 chances. You've allowed him to rip you off.
That's not
30.
true.
That's what he said. I'll grant you your judgment of $1,531. That is everything he has stolen from you without the emotional distress that you all allowed yourselves to endure.
What are you getting me
You
for?
allowed yourselves to endure it because you knew he was a drug addict. How do you go out of town knowing that you have a drug addict there who has to steal to avoid withdrawal, who has stolen every chance he gets from you? You set him up with the opportunity. You said, son, we're gonna go out of town and we're gonna give you these keys and we're gonna leave you our property. We're gonna let you have a field day taking whatever you want. I know he looked at y'all and said, you got to be kidding. I know he thought it was Christmas. I'm giving you everything you've asked for other than the stress that you allowed yourself to endure. And I'm telling family members now who are watching, don't allow yourself to be a victim. I'm going to assist you and order you to get in-house drug treatment like you said that you want. And I'm going to grant your judgment. Have a good day.
I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hug your mom.
We love you, Adam. We want you to get help.
I just agreed to get help. I would love you guys. I'm sorry for stealing from you guys. It'll never happen again. And once I get help, you guys will have the old Adam back.
My old Adam. That's all I want back.